You see, India's energy security is dependent exclusively on the major energy providers in West Asia, particularly Iran, Iraq, Saudi Arabia, UAE, Kuwait, and other Gulf countries. Now, in this scenario, if this region is having turbulence, I think we will have to really look at the other options for our energy security in case of any cut-off in the supplies. For instance, today you know that Iran supplies have been cut off because of the sanctions by the United States. So, but in case there's a turbulence or a conflict in this area, then of course the impact on our energy security will be much greater, and we may have to sort of see some greater cut in the supplies, possibly higher price of the petroleum products and so on.
If there is tension, I think, between the United States and Iran that leads to a sharp spike because of uncertainty, the oil market is very sensitive to regional stability. They've gone through certain periods, for instance, when we had tanker wars and we had other kinds of elements of political instability that sharply, impact the oil market. I think the Indian economy, which is already now fragile for a variety of reasons, would find it difficult to deal with these shocks. The other related issue is that we have the Indian diaspora. If there is regional instability, it would have an adverse impact on this large diaspora of India, which stretches from the Gulf states all the way up to Saudi Arabia, and they are in large numbers. Now, if their personal security is impacted, we recall that we've had a period in Indian history which was in the run-up to the Gulf War of 1991, when Indians had to be evacuated. Mr. Gujral was then our foreign minister, and there's a famous picture of Mr. Gujral and then Iraqi President Saddam Hussein in an embrace. Now, these are just, I would say, incidents that I'm recalling to say that for India, any instability in the extended West Asian region would have an impact not only on energy security, but human security. And that in turn would lead to, I think, a number of related kind of sub-issues that would adversely impact India's security and tranquility above all.
This is what I mentioned earlier also, About 85% of energy comes from this region. And this is a region which is very close to, geographically very close to us, Transportation charges are less, and our refineries are geared to oil coming from this region, whether it is from Iraq, Iran, or Saudi Arabia, UAE, and Qatar, the LNG comes from Qatar also. So therefore this region becomes very important for us. We are dependent on energy coming from this region, and we wanted we are also seeking investment or energy in energy sector in most of these countries. If we have to develop, say, about 6 to 8% of our economic growth, GDP, then we would like to have uninterrupted oil supply coming from this region. And as the tension is growing in the region, so this is a major concern for the government as well as the industry in India.